Well, Donnie, let's talk a little bit first of all about Scott Simon. I know you had an opportunity to talk a little bit Sunday, but he comes out and gets rewarded with the Pac-12 Coach of the Week, and what a great honor for Scotty.
Yeah, it's great honor. I mean, anytime you get awards like that, you get really happy for your guys. He pitched outstanding for us. Haven't seen him pitch that well in a long time. Probably hasn't been that good that long. With a complete game on the road. Utah's playing good. It's a must-win game for us. It's not some throwaway game. Very, very important game for us. And Scotty came up and pitched really well for us when we really, really needed it.
I know you talk a lot about focusing every pitch with our guys, and I'd like to take a look at maybe the three Pac-12 series. The first series, you put yourself in a position to win a series with a great effort Friday night. You wind up doing that. You run into a great pitcher in Mark Appel with Stanford, get behind the eight ball a little bit, unable to come back and win that series, and then really gave one to Utah in this series. But again, it seems like the team that goes out and wins that first game really puts themselves in a position to win a Pac-12 series.
Yeah, I would say probably less pressure, and you're right. Friday at Arizona State, I just thought we were locked in, and Coach Ware and Coach Knott, and I think that they really had the hitters really, really dialed in on facing a really, really good arm like Williams, and we played good. We played good baseball. We made all the routine plays. Joe pitched himself into a little bit of trouble early and pitched himself out of it. The following week, for me, we faced the best guy in baseball. I've been in the Pac now for 10 years and seen a lot of first-round picks and seen a lot of special arms, and I've never seen anything like I saw with Appel on that Thursday night. And but we played a good game. We just lost, and then this weekend we had it. We were up, and we really, really lost our momentum, and which was disappointing. We came out guns a-blazing, swinging the bat really good, pitching okay, and thought we put ourselves in a good position. But you got to credit Utah. Utah played 9 innings, and I guess if it was a 7-inning ball game, we would have won. But fortunately or unfortunately, we had to play 9 innings in our conference. And then you're trying to win series. Not that Arizona State or Stanford, Utah, the 3 teams we played, not that they weren't trying to sweep. We're all trying to sweep. But you just know how difficult it is to sweep in this conference. So you get that first one, you think, okay, we're split away from wins.
3-step drop, looks one way, throws underneath the spruce.
So we're trying to turn
Daryl Monroe, middle line.
In series at home or on the road. And since that first weekend, the last 2 weekends, we just haven't been the better team.
And with that, though, you have faced in back-to-back weekends the possibility of getting swept. You're on the wrong end of it, but you've responded on Sunday. A lot of that's obviously been Scott, but I think your offense has shown a sense of urgency in the last 2 Sunday games.
Yeah, I think so. We had a sense of some looseness at Utah, I thought. More of a professional approach to the game. I was concerned with Game 3 against Stanford, to be honest with you. I didn't like kind of how we were going about our business, but credit our guys, they found a way, and we did enough offensively and defensively, but it was about Scott on Sunday, and I'm really, really proud of him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again this Sunday.
Now you get an Arizona team that really had some desperation of their own, getting swept the first 2 weekends, but they've responded with back-to-back weekends, and that was probably expected. They were going to turn it around at some point because of who they are and the fact that they're the defending national champion. But what kind of, it's probably obviously the speed, but what other problems do they present for you this weekend?
Well, I think when you're looking at Arizona, the first thing is they're hot right now. And it's they got swept at home, I think, by Oregon State. I think Oregon State was ranked 4th at the time. There's no shame in that. Oregon State's an unbelievably talented club. Then they went to Oregon, another really, really talented club that gets to play at home. Maybe when you're got a team down a little bit, because after you get swept, I'm quite sure you question yourself a little bit. Well, now they're starting to play good baseball, and one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in college baseball, with Coach Lopez. I mean, defending national champions. It's a newer team, but they have some players. Gilbert and Dixon and Johnny Fields and Connor Wade and Ferris, and there's a lot of guys that played on that team. Sure, did they lose their heart and soul? Probably. But it doesn't mean that they don't have new guys in their program that will eventually be the Mejias and the Mejias Breens and the guys that help those guys win a national championship. So they're dangerous. They're hot right now, and it'll be a humongous challenge for us for sure.
Talk a little bit about Adam Nelbowich. He seems like a guy, obviously a redshirt junior, but I think it's no question he'll be a draft pick and a guy who's going to be done with the program after this season. He strikes me as somebody right now who realizes, hey, I've got potentially 25 games if we don't make the postseason. I got 25 games left in my college career, and he's really elevated his game in the last few weeks.
I'd agree with you. He's very urgent. He's a very urgent player right now. He knows that his time is precious in the games that he has. Really proud of him. Adam is kind of that typical progression of the players that we've had in the last 9 or 10 years here, where they come in, even whether they're drafted or not, maybe no playing time early, and just kept getting better and getting better. And the reason why I think Adam's reaching his ceiling as a player is because the type of person and type of student he is. Going to graduate this year, finance major, smart kid. He's went away every summer and played really well and worked really hard. So kind of all the things all the rewards, he's kind of reaping those. But our team is too. He's been an unbelievably great leader. He's not scared of his voice. He's not scared to command great things out of his team, and he's an educator too. He's really good for the young players because he's one of those guys that we always talk about your house being in order, and his house is always in order. You don't have to worry about that. Is he gonna swing and miss at the changeup sometimes? Yeah. Is he gonna do? I mean, nobody's perfect on the baseball field, but he does as many good things for our program as anybody that we have in our program.
Yeah, Coach. So last series, I mean, with the exception of the 8th inning, it seemed like your pitching was about as good as it's been all year. What are your thoughts on just kind of where your pitching's at right now?
Yeah, I think so. It's unfortunate. You really look at the game. Look at the last 2 ball games, and we gave up two solo homers in 18 innings of baseball, and we only won 1 game. You'd think in 18 innings, if you gave up 2 solo homers, you'd probably win both, but you didn't. The pitching's been fine. I didn't think Joe was his best stuff on Friday, but once again, when it comes to Joe, he battles, and I thought Tanner did that same thing too. Tanner wasn't striking anybody out. He only gave up 2 runs, but he battled, and our pitching's been fine. We had obviously a rough 8th inning where we couldn't get some people out. We didn't make some plays that we needed to make, but like we said from the get-go, those are all sophomore rotation, and if you see a guy that's been in the maybe an older guy that's pitched forever, he might continue to pitch really well for you, but there's not a lot of progression during the year. I think these sophomores will continue to give us great progression, and they'll get stronger as the year went on. Maybe not weaker. I see these guys getting stronger with those 3 starters that we have right now.
And you already mentioned Adam and this kind of the emergence that he's really been having the last few weeks. You can talk a little bit about Jason Monda and Chase Timpson. Those guys, they've been really stepping up, it seems like, too.
Yeah, great players. Both third-year guys in the program. Trace has really solidified our infield. He's playing at a level right now that we thought he would play at when we recruited him. You weren't there, obviously, against Utah, but he made some big league plays. I mean, you watch him take some ground balls and make some plays. You look at on the big leagues and goes, that's how they make plays. Once another guy, he's bought into everything we've asked him to do. Really, really proud of him. Jason, the same thing. Jason's just coming into his own. It's not easy to pitch and play center and play first and do all the things that we asked Jason to do, and he does those with a smile on his face. He does them really, really well. And if we were to have continued success this year, I mean, we've talked about Adam today, we talked about Trace, and we talked about Jason. Those guys have to play well. There's an old saying that, you're never going to win games if your best players don't play well. So our best players need to play well, and those guys are some of those guys.
Yeah, Don, I just wondered, Scott, you obviously liked his progress last year, when he's pitching in relief. What kind of improvement has he made this year? And is he throwing like a third pitch more often this year as a starter?
No, I think he's just more consistent with the pitches that he's throwing. He's getting bigger, he's getting stronger, he's getting healthier, he's more mature. I talk about this a lot. He's better in the classroom, those types of things. His house is better, is in better order. So, it's just when you have talented young guys like Scott, you expect the world from them right when they get on campus. It's not realistic. Each guy comes into their own. If you look at the great players in our program, whether football or basketball or baseball, they all get better as they get older, and that's all Scott's doing. He's just getting better as he gets older and matures, and I still don't think you've seen the best of what Scott Simon has to offer.
Hey, Donnie, the other thing I was wondering about, too, I thought Nick Talio came out of the game on Saturday, didn't play Sunday. Did he get banged up a little bit?
Yeah, he's got a little bit knee issue, so that's another reason why I was really proud of the club. We didn't have Jones all weekend. We didn't have Stimp all weekend, and basically 2 out of the 3 games we didn't have Tanielu. So I thought our kids came in and responded. Speaking of Adam, I mean, Adam played third base this weekend, which he hadn't played it all year, and he did a fine job for us. So, yeah, he's nicked up, but hopefully we get him back soon.
So do you think he'll be playing this weekend?
I'm hoping. Yeah, we haven't practiced yet today, but we sure hope so.